What's up guys, I'm James and welcome back to the Great Gambino channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Timex M79. If you do end up enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe or click the like button as it really does help me out and motivates me to keep pushing this channel forward. Now this watch was sent to me by Chris over at the Watch Lounge, and the watch itself is owned by YouTuber Bobby Legs. So I want to say thank you to both of them for letting me take a look at it here, and I will have links to both of their channels in the description down below. Recently we have looked at the Pepsi version of this watch, the Timex Q, so throughout this video I will be pointing out some of the similarities and differences. Paraphrased from the Timex website, the M79 Automatic is something entirely new, even though it may look familiar. It is inspired by the 1970s Q and is elevated with a 21 joule mechanical movement. This watch is a fresh interpretation of a much-loved Timex icon. Real quick, I'll give you some measurements. We have a width of 40 millimeters, lug to lug is 46 millimeters. The band has 18 millimeter pins, but the band protrudes out to 22 millimeters and tapers to 16 millimeters by the clasp. And the case has a thickness of 14.5 millimeters. Unlike the Q, this crown is stamped with the TX initials for Timex. Winding the crown to charge the movement feels very smooth and satisfying. Let's listen to what that action sounds like. The aluminum bezel is finished with a matte black upper half and a navy blue bottom portion combined with silver numbering. Unlike the Timex Q, this one is unidirectional and features 120 clicks. To be honest, while operating the bezel, it feels very grainy in movement. In addition, it seems to have a little bit of wobble and feels like something that would malfunction if overused. Let's hear what that 120 clicks sounds like. In this shot, we can see the high-domed acrylic crystal that adds some cool distortion as I move it around. There is no air coating on this piece, so you will get a little bit of glare, but it's not terrible. The dial on the M79 is different from the Q, as this one is a solid black. Another change is that the indices are all white applied with chrome trim versus the faux patina printed on the Pepsi version. We have a Timex logo below the 12 o'clock and a day date feature at the 3 o'clock. This time around, the day date numbers are white print with a black background matching the dial. This was not the case on the Q. The hands are the same as the Q, except this time around they added a T logo to the hour hand. This makes it look a little bit more like the Mercedes logo on the Rolex Submariner hand. One thing I do not like about this new version is that they kept the second hand red. I felt like it worked for the Q due to the Pepsi bezel. It just does not seem to match this Batman style colorway. I really would have preferred a white or blue second hand. Like on the Q, I really love the extreme angled retro case design. The top slope portion of the case is brushed and the sides are high polished with a beveled center. Flipping around, we see the display case back that is showing the 21 joule Miyota 8205. It offers hand and automatic winding. It beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour and has a power reserve of 40 hours. Another area that I love is the woven steel band. Stylistically, it just works for me as it turns on the nostalgia factor. I do have to add that most people on the internet do not like this band as it is known for being a hair puller. I can attest to this being true because I've tried it out and I ran into the same problem myself. Toward the base, you have an easily adjustable clasp that latches and snaps together. But let's take a look at the loom. The luminescent application has been added to the indices, hour, and minute hands. Differing from the Pepsi version, this one has an illuminated pip on the bezel triangle. And just like with the Q, it seems to be bright enough to get the job done. Here's a side-by-side shot next to an American quarter to give you a better representation of the scale. And here's a shot on my 6.75 inch wrist. I feel it fits my wrist no problem, just like the previous version, but I will say that the added thickness makes it more substantial, and that is something I notice. With that said, let's go ahead and cut to the outdoor shot so I can show you that natural light reflection.
Great Gambino.
If you are interested in this piece, the retail price is around $280. After seeing the M79 and the Q in person, I realized that although they look alike, they have quite a few differences, making them unique from one another. Anyways, that's going to wrap up this review of the Timex M79, and if you have made it this far in the video, I want you to know how much I really do appreciate you sticking around to the end, so thank you for that, and I'll see you in the next one.